Once upon a time, there were several bunnies and several wombats living in the Bunny Wombat house. The bunnies came back home from work every day, tired and expecting a relaxing evening. But what they came back to was a dirty home and lazy wombats. The wombats were so filthy that their stench could be smelled from a mile away. Finally, the bunnies were fed up with the laziness of the wombats that they decided to do something about it.
I have the solution to our problem. We are going to conduct an experiment. It will be a pre-test, post-test design. We will divide half of the wombats into a control group and the other half into an experimental group.
Wait, Big Bunny, wouldn't this be a true experiment since we are manipulating the independent variable?
Why, yes, little bunny. You're so smart.
Not only that, but it will be an equivalent pre-test, post-test design because we will randomly assign the wombats to the experimental group or control group.
After discussing their problem, the bunnies concluded that for 3 days they would observe wombat behavior and document how many times each wombat took initiative to complete a chore on his own. This is their measure for responsibility. For the next 3 days, they would implement the treatment to the experimental group, and 3 days after that, they would observe wombat behavior again for both groups. After dividing the wombats to an experimental and a control group, the bunnies took the control group upstairs and kept the experimental group downstairs. In the control group, wombats were told to go about their normal schedule. Downstairs, the wombats were assigned a different chore for 3 days.
It's time for observation, my bunnies.
After they collected their data, the bunnies gathered to discuss their findings.
So bunnies, since only one group received the treatment, our design was between groups. Also, the independent variable, doing chores or not, is nominal, and our dependent variable, responsibility score, is ratio data. We will use an independent samples t-test to compare the means between the two groups. Since Mama Wombat visited during the post-test, we can't claim that our treatment is the cause of the higher responsibility score. Social desirability bias probably took place when she was here because the wombats might not want to have looked lazy in front of Mama Wombat. I would also like to mention that there were some downfalls to our experiment. We didn't account for the third variable problem, which could have decreased the internal validity. During the post-test, the wombat's favorite TV show might not be playing, so they could have chosen to do chores at that moment. Mama Wombat's visit was also a history effect that might have affected their behavior. All in all, I would say that this was a solid experiment, fellows. I really hope those wombats still go back to their lazy ways.
And they live happily ever